This is a CBS 4 News update.
Good morning, I'm Maribel Rodriguez. A family search for justice continues after their little boy died in a hot van outside of an Oakland Park daycare on Monday. CBS 4 News has obtained search warrants. The documents show that Broward Sheriff's Office detectives are investigating the death of 2-year-old Noah Sneed as a manslaughter. BSO says Noah was left inside a van at Cicera's daycare and preschool for hours on Monday. In the search warrant for the van, we've learned investigators took documents with kids' pickup and drop-off information from the vehicle. Detectives also took a DNA swab from the side door interior of the van. Noah's father told CBS 4 News that he is pleased a criminal investigation is underway.
I feel a little joy in my heart, though. My son going to get justice now.
The search warrant also indicates that detectives searched the business, looking for details on who owns the van, documents on transporting children, and surveillance video. The search warrant says detectives took a van key and employee files from the business. Miami Gardens police are looking for the person who installed a skimmer to steal credit card information at a gas station. Police say the skimmer was found at the Shell station at 8th Avenue and Northwest 183rd Street. Anyone who has recently been to the gas station is urged to check their bank statements for fraud. And it's the end of an era in North Miami Beach. After 69 years, Lorenzo's Italian Market is closing its doors for good. Locals and world-famous customers like singer Frank Sinatra and actor Joe Pesci knew this all too well. The owner of the market says now seems like the time to take a break, travel, and have some fun. But not all hope is lost. The Lorenzo's Farmers Market next door will remain open and still carry customers' favorites.
Now, CBS 4 weather.
Oh, it's been a stormy start for Thursday, and now these storms that we're getting are associated with the tropical wave that is currently located between Cuba and the Bahamas. So thunderstorms earlier this morning will soak again across South Florida. They'll continue to develop offshore. And here's a look at what that tropical wave looks like on satellite. Does not look very organized. So it doesn't mean right now that we're not going to get rain, because we will. Still has a lot of tropical moisture. However, this area will have a slightly better chance for formation, but not until it makes that turn towards the north and northeast over the waters in the western Atlantic Ocean. This is going to happen by Sunday. That's when it has that low chance of 10% for formation. Now, there's another wave. So we're watching two areas out there. The other one over the open waters of the Atlantic Ocean between the Cabo Verde Islands and the Caribbean. Each day it does get closer to the Lesser Antilles, and each day it has a better chance for formation. In the next 48 hours, 20%, but in the next 5 days, 70%. So sometime early next week, we could be talking about our next named storm in the Atlantic Ocean. Tropical wave that's close to us will provide the rain for today, tomorrow, and through the weekend. Notice a lot of moisture trailing behind this. This is the moisture forecast. So all that green is deep tropical moisture. Will continue with numerous showers and thunderstorms through Sunday. So flooding is possible because of the heavy rainfall at times. Even some strong to severe storms cannot be ruled out, as some of these storms could produce gusty winds around 45 miles per hour and above that. Also for mariners, there could be water spouts forming offshore. Rainfall amounts 2 to 5 inches through Sunday, but locally up to 7 inches out there. And here's a closer look, or more specific numbers across the area. This is a short-term forecast. It goes up till Saturday morning. Notice where the bulk of the rain lies over the East Metro areas. Some numbers going as high as above 4 inches of rainfall, like in Pembroke Pines and in Homestead, possibly 5 inches for Key Largo. This will change throughout the day and into the weekend, so you want to stay tuned to CBS 4 for the latest updates. Here's a look at our 7-day forecast. The rain begins to taper off Monday, and then we should be headed back into more of a typical summertime forecast starting on Tuesday.
Jen, thanks. And that's the news for now. You can always find us on CBSMiami.com and tune into CBS 4 News at 5, 6, 7, and 11 for all of today's important headlines.